First of all, how do you think the lesson went?
Oh, I think it went from poor to medium.
Okay, and what your expectations when you first were developing the lesson and you had kind of an idea of how it would go? What made it go?
Oh, I just kind of pictured them, getting up on the maps, kind of being excited to find where these countries are and doing what I asked them to do. But it was a rough morning.
So you obviously want your students to be engaged.
Oh yeah.
And you want that excitement
Yep.
out of them, and the lesson you felt was going to get that reaction.
And I knew some of the other previous lessons that we've done have been more, the kids have enjoyed it more. They're doing more activities, kind of more crafts. They're making brochures and stuff like that. And this one was more kind of, we weren't doing that, so it was more, I knew it probably wasn't going to be as engaging as the other lessons we've done in the last few days.
So when they made crafts, or what was it about that
they were able to, I mean, they were drawing, they were cutting out using glue, so they were just having more, it was more kind of free time for them. They were able to, chat with their friends while they were.
Beth was taking the scan on engagement,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm going to just have you take a quick look at, there's the time over here, and then here are the number of students engaged right here.
Mm-hmm.
So, or not engaged and then engaged. So just,
one thing where it stands where they're not engaged is where they're, I'm not sure what that point was, but probably when I said talk to your neighbor, I can imagine that would be a time where they're just.
why wouldn't they be engaged at that point when they're talking to their neighbor? I mean, because you would think giving them that opportunity to talk, they would be talking to their neighbor, but maybe you said earlier they didn't know, or they didn't understand the expectations, or
Maybe they're not grasping the question. Maybe they're able to rephrase the question, give a better question.
the questioning
The
part.
question could be, yeah.
Okay.
That's something I need. I want to give them an opportunity to talk to each other. Another part that I wanted to do is the seating chart also in that classroom, especially. The way we did it, we did was it slide and divide?
Mm-hmm.
So I tried to set them up that way, and it just ended up they all ended up next to their friends. And so.
So the grouping you need to think
and
about more thoughtfully.
I was going to try to do that yesterday, but I just ran out of time to get a new seating chart in for them.
Okay.
So that's something I'm going to change this week.
Okay.
Because it was just.
So going back to the questioning,
Yep.
and
So
maybe they didn't understand the question, maybe because you want them to be engaged, and they obviously weren't when you said turn to your partner. Most
Yeah.
of the time they would be. Do you think they knew what to talk about?
Some kids did, and I think, and I was kind of walking around, and I saw a couple girls talking about, say something, and they kind of just go off topic, and they talk about.
And how about with the actual content that you're
Yeah.
delivering? It's a new topic, right?
It is.
This movement. So do you think maybe having them giving them the opportunity to learn more about the topic first before they talk it through? Because if they weren't engaged when you said, turn to your partner and talk about it, what did we talk about, Mr. Anderley? I mean, it appeared that maybe they didn't even understand what to talk about because they didn't have enough of that background knowledge.
Okay.
So maybe thinking of if you, and I know this is throwing this out there, not giving you a lot of think time, but how could you provide more of the background knowledge for them with this lesson? If you had to kind of.
Well, that's one thing I kind of try to get out of them with the daily warm up is track. Where do you think your pencil came from? And how did it get from one place?
Sure.
Letting kids kind of think about it started as a tree, probably in another country, and it was chopped down and shipped to a factory, and then shipped to here to a store. And
so a little background.
So a little background, kind of trying to get them thinking, and then some of them kind of grasp, like, okay, it's moving, and other ones are just kind of like.
Where was another part on there where they were really engaged?
They were really engaged. It looks like right here they're watching the video clip.
Why?
It's a video clip. That's not me talking. I think it could be a little more.
What else is in that video clip? Do you think that captured them?
Colors moving. Honestly, some of that class, I think, just having.
Was there information in there?
There was some information. I said, okay, maybe they're picking up. Oh, because the one girl's like, talk about Christianity. Maybe I've heard about that word. Like, my dad's not a Christian, but we're in America, so he might hit home to them a little bit more. Like, heard about or Islam in the news with conflicts, and maybe that kind of sticks out to them a little bit more. So kind of connecting that to what they're seeing in real life, I think,
So it
probably
sounds like
engaged them.
they're interested in learning. I mean, that's what those questions and those looking at that video, they want to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, they're interested in that. So that content did capture them.
That part did.
And that was, I mean, there was a lot of content just in that one video clip. There
There
was
was.
a lot of information that
Then Lane in the back
talked
kind of
about.
catch on like, why does it like switch back and forth? Are they killing each other?
Exactly.
And so I'm like, yeah, that's one way that it moves. It's because of war and.
So you've got kids in there who are very engaged,
Yeah.
and then kids who are coming up with some thoughtful questions.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking, just based on that there's a lot of content
Mm-hmm.
that needs to be pushed into
Mhm.
that a little, you know. I mean, they get the pencil and the tree and some of
Mhm.
those superficial things, and they were coming up with some silly ideas also.
Yeah.
But when they were truly engaged was when there was
Drawn
some
out
depth
some-
of content,
Mhm.
is what it appeared
Mhm.
from the notes that we had. Would you?
Yeah, I was really surprised when Lane said that, because I was like, I had no idea they'd be able to kind of grasp that concept. Like, they're moving back and forth, these religions. Like, why are they moving back and forth? Are they fighting? Like, or what's the reason for that?
So maybe it's a bit eye-opening too that sixth graders maybe have that depth of knowledge.
Yeah, I think so. And then that class especially, I probably won't give them credit for